Arreglo Radio is a platform where young professionals share their stories of ups and downs, lessons learned, and professional expertise, giving you an insight into their lives. So join us as we sit down with some incredibly talented people right here on Arreglo Radio. What's going on, good people? Welcome to episode 6 of Arreglo Radio. Now, in this episode, I am blessed. No, I am thrilled. No, I am honored to have the most consistent West Coast artist in Canada. Man like Teon Gibbs. Well, go on, boy.
That was a nice intro, man.
Fam, it's what we do out here.
I should have you at the shows, man. I'm just saying.
That was kind of nice.
Wait, don't even guess me still.
Yeah,
Alright, so, what's going on, fam?
It's working, man. Staying busy. That's
Yeah.
pretty much all I can do, man.
How's life treating you with all the madness that's going on right now?
Yeah, it's been good for me, man. I just had time. I just had time to do all the shit that I wanted to do in the first place, you know. So less excuses, you know, like less excuses, more time, and more results. So.
All right. So before we get into it in that, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let's have some fun, man. Cause I'm in the mood.
Let's do it.
All right. So, who is Teon Gibbs?
Yeah, man. Teon Gibbs is just I'm a dude who's trying to make a career out of just telling stories, telling my story.
Yeah.
You know, I'm from Botswana originally.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I moved to Canada in 2010, so I feel like I have a pretty unique perspective. A lot of people we traveled a lot growing up too. So I lived in England, I lived in South Africa, Botswana, Angola. So yeah.
So you just like bounce around, so you're one of those like super international gen babies.
Yeah, exactly, man. One of those third gen kids, man. So yeah, we definitely I'm just trying to make a career like just being me. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Just having my own perspective, my own stories, my own journey. So that's what I'm trying to do right now.
All right. So before we get into it, shall we?
Let's do it, man.
All right.
Cheers.
Oh, sweet Jesus Christ.
Fear the deer.
Oh, that hit different.
Fear the deer, man.
That one hit different. All right, so.
We doing another one? Or?
Nah, dude, whoa. We need to take it easy because if we keep going at this rate, by about the 45-minute mark, man's gonna be slurring in the area. So like,
sure.
All right. So, who are you? Like, what's your story? Like, how did you find yourself here on the West Coast? Like.
Yeah. Like kind of like I was saying, we did a lot of traveling. My dad worked with like developing countries, helping them just manage their food resources. So he worked with like SADC, the UN, Save the Children. So we had to travel a lot because of that. So just kind of growing up, I always had Canadian citizenship, so I knew I'd end up back here at some point.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I knew like as far as like university and those kind of options would just be cheaper for me to get the kind of education I wanted. And then I came out here, kind of initially with the intention of, pursuing a career in academics.
Really?
But then I just took a gap year, 2 gap years actually, and I was like, you know what, man, I'm gonna just do this music thing because I'm passionate about it. And then went to audio school. And I was living in Kelowna. I don't know if you've ever been.
Not yet, but I do like plan to visit out there because I've heard that it's awesome out there.
Yeah, it's a vibe, man. It's fun, especially in the summers. But like, it's just a really white city, man. It's as simple as that. It's just a really white city.
That's the weirdest thing I've heard all day.
Yeah, I mean, even Vancouver is like it's a pretty white city,
yeah.
But like, Kelowna is very like you can go weeks without seeing another black person. Like actual weeks.
I think I'm good.
Yeah, so it was tough, man. So
that should just probably make me feel mad uncomfortable.
So yeah, there are times, man. There are times. A lot of people touching your hair unnecessarily.
What?
Yeah. But I mean, people don't know. You know what I'm saying? People don't know.
Son, you don't let that shit slide at all. Cause someone tried me one time.
Yo.
I literally looked at him like I was going to stab him in the left eye with a blunt butter knife.
I know, man.
You know, salty.
I had to grow out of that, man. Cause before I used to be cool with it. Cause I know like, that's how I get shorties. You know. That's how I used to pull shorties. It's like, you touch my hair and start a conversation. Next thing you know, you get the number. And
then, oh my God, you're so exotic.
Yeah, kind of exotic still. But you know, over time, I was like, shit, man, they're kind of making me an object, and I didn't like that. So
Yeah, I definitely feel that.
yeah, it was a bad feeling. So I had to learn that, you know, because at first I was just a thirsty guy and I just wanted it.
You just kind of let it be. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
bro, can't sit out, stare out, boy. It's like,
Exactly.
if it works, it works. Right?
Exactly.
All right, cool. So you said that you mentioned that you came here wanting to do the whole like uni thing or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you kind of said, nah, this might not be what I want to do the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Why music?
With traveling so much, I'd always been writing. That was kind of my way of expressing myself.
Right.
Yeah, I just felt like, man, you move somewhere and knowing in the next 2 to 3 years you're gonna be moving again, kind of made it hard to form like actual relationships with people because you're like, I'm gonna bounce soon, so there's no real point of like getting too close.
Yeah.
So yeah, I always used to write. It's kind of my way of just like putting my thoughts and my energy because I didn't have that many friends that I could share those feelings with.
So it's your way of kind of coping through.
Yeah, exactly, right. And then it just slowly became poetry, then it became raps. And then when I got out here, man, I saw my brother struggle. You know, he has like a sociology and criminology degree. And I saw him struggle to get work for like, you know, he's way older, he's like 10 years older than me.
Right.
So I saw him struggle to get work for like 6-7 years, and I was like, yo, honestly, man, like, I don't know if this uni thing is it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could just work at something for 5 years.
Yeah, exactly.
And build a brand and be at a point where like I can make money and be self-employed as opposed to going to school for 5-6 years and then getting a degree and then working in a mall to pay bills until you get the job you want, you know what I'm saying? So I was just like, yo, I'd rather invest in myself. So I did the audio engineering thing in school, just like a different kind of program. And you know, yeah, ever since like 2015, I've been basically like in the music industry in some kind of way. And in 2016, I was like, yo, I'm gonna push my own music out. And that's kind of what I've been doing for the last like 4 or 5 years.
Damn, dog.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So how's the grind treated you thus far?
Man, it's hard, man. I used to watch this interview with Nipsey Hussle. He used to say like, I went through every emotion you can possibly think of, and I was like, I really related to that, man. I felt that in a deep way. You know, half the time you want to quit. I don't think it's just music. I think it's just anything entrepreneurial. Like, it's so many ups and downs. It's a crazy journey, man. So there's so many times I wanted to quit. So many times I wanted to give up. I had to learn not to compare myself to other people. Like, their journey is different to my journey. My journey is different to someone else's. So yeah, I went through a lot, and I'd really say the first 3 years were probably the hardest because you're basing it all on potential and very little results. Right. And someone wants to invest in you, they want to invest in results, essentially, right?
Exactly.
Like, cause you got to build your brand to a point where they're like, yeah, this is a smart investment for us to work together.
Yeah, because they've seen like like there's a proven track record of you like delivering something.
Exactly, right? And like, I think for a lot of black kids in general, bar even coming from another country, like we grow up or we come into manhood without a ton of like connections and relationships that you know, a lot of other people already have just based off who their families are and what schools they went to and that kind of stuff. So being fairly new in a country and not having that kind of like base of a larger network, I had to pretty much every opportunity I had to make for myself. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So it took me about 3 years before. It was 3 years of just investing and making no money. And then on my 4th year, which was last year, I started seeing money come back. And now it's like, bro, I just closed a deal with Best Buy, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Jesus,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
come on.
So for me, it's just like growth. Now I'm seeing real growth now. So you know, I met up with my uncle who's a businessman in like Calgary. And he told me, he's like, it takes you like 5 years to build a brand. So
just like a solid like brand identity that people can say, okay, so like this person's like been there.
Exactly.
So in terms of like motivation, because that could not have been easy, bro.
Definitely not, man.
So like, what kept you motivated? Like, what pushed you to say, all right, eyes on the prize. Like, this is where I want to go, and this is where I'm at right now. And I don't know what the steps are to get there, but I'm still going to keep putting one foot in front of the other. Like, what was the motivation? Because I would imagine that a lot of people would have said, rah, that is a dark road ahead. I see the light at the end of the tunnel, but I have no idea what's on the ground in front of me. Versus like the safe route where it's like, okay, cool, like you do your bachelor's thing.
I have a career path.
So it's like, what motivated you to not say, but like I keep stepping on thorns and I can't see exactly what's going on. Like, what was the motivation, man?
Honestly, man, like a couple things. One, I just hated having a boss, man. That was honestly one of the biggest things. I hated someone like talking down to me.
Yeah, I feel that.
You know what I'm saying? I remember my time. I was working at I don't know if I can even say this on here, but I was working at Shaw.
Yeah.
And I just remember seeing like people in like very senior managerial leadership positions.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, bro, like you actually don't know anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are just people who work their way up based off of relationships and obviously working hard.
Yeah.
But a lot of it's based off of relationships as opposed to like having the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, I'm in the same position as guys who did 4 years at UBC in a business program.
Yeah.
And I'm working the same job as them. So I was like, like
it doesn't really add up.
It just hit different for me, man. Because I was like, this doesn't make sense, fam. Like, you should be telling me what to do. I shouldn't be working the same job as you.
Exactly.
And then I just didn't like having someone micromanage me and tell me what to do, where to be. So although it was hard, I hated that even more. So I was like, I don't want to do that.
That's fair.
And it really comes down to it, bro. I actually love this shit, man. I love making music. I love performing.
Oof.
That's the biggest thing, man. I actually love it, bro. So.
Honestly, I'm so glad you brought that up. Yeah. So just to pivot a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So your artistic inspirations growing up, right? So for myself, for example, it's like I grew up listening to the likes of like Shadedu, like Bob Marley, Maxi Priest, a couple of Zimbabwean artists here and there, but that's kind of who I grew up listening to. And as I got older, I started listening to more North American stuff, and that I can really tell that that's what shaped like my taste in music and kind of like my own like creative kind of thing. So like, who growing up did you like listen to and say, okay, like this helps me?
I'm a big fan of storytellers, man. I feel like those are the artists that have the music that lasts the longest.
Very true.
I grew up. My mom's favorite artist is like Tracy Chapman. Like that's like, to me, that's like a storyteller. I hear her music, and I'm like, I'm there. I'm seeing what you're describing. Right. And it wasn't until my brother started bringing back like old hip hop CDs. Like the first time I heard the Fugees' score, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, this is really, really dope, man. And so I think my real inspiration, my main influences when I was younger, it was pretty eclectic, man. My dad's white, my mom's from Botswana, you know what I'm saying? So, it could be literally anything from like, Mafiki Zola to like freaking Steve Miller Band, you know what I'm saying?
That's
like
fair.
it's really widespread. And I think kids who grow up outside of North America, they have that experience where it's
That's very true, actually.
Cause you know what I'm saying? Like I'm listening to like Liquid Deep and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like dope ass South African house music, and then I have to listen to like Drake as well, you know what I'm saying? So you get a real perspective of like, music is not just like what you hear in the Billboard charts.
It's a random question, yeah?
Yeah.
If you had to like to eliminate one from these three artists from like history, you have to eliminate one. Liquid Deep. Mosquito. Right? Liquid Deep, Mosquito, or DJ Cleo. Who's going?
I feel like a lot of people would say Liquid Deep, but for me it'd probably be Mosquito.
I feel like you just rubbed a lot of people
I know. But I love Liquid Deep, man.
Yes, you should.
I love Liquid Deep, man. I love Liquid Deep. And DJ Cleo's like the GOAT, man. Let's be real. He's the GOAT.
Dude, he ran the early 2000s.
Bro, he's the GOAT.
He ran it. Fam, I actually remember when, the fuck was the name of the album? Like the fourth album in the series. The one that had like Party People.
Yeah.
That album,
Bro, I don't even remember the name of the album, but I know the album you're talking about. Yeah.
That album like literally like took me to places I'm like okay.
Yeah.
Like 14, 15-year-old me was going okay.
It's undeniable. It's undeniable.
Yeah.
Undeniable.
Completely undeniable.
So only reason I say Mosquito is only because like it's just by elimination. Like.
You sure?
Yeah, it's just by elimination.
Or DJ Mosquito.
Bro, I know that's painful. People are mad, but bro, I just. That's why I said, man, a lot of people would probably have to get rid of Liquid Deep in that situation, but I just had a personal connection. First time I heard Fairy Tale, bro, I can't even lie, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, I never heard nothing like this.
Yeah, that is true. Honestly,
Alone? The music video for Alone,
dude? Let's not even get into it, dog.
Yo. I still play those tracks, man. I still play those.
Yo.
It's crazy because you play those tracks and people hear
it,
no one knows it here, right? So they're like, yo, what's this? This is crazy, fam.
Yeah, and so since we're talking about like Southern African house and like its influence on you, right? I'm not sure if you've noticed, but like a lot of the deep house coming out of North America and the States is very.
It feels like it's pulling from that, right?
It feels like it's liquid house-esque with the very like soft synths with like a very like pronounced bass line, like no hi-hats and like very like soft snare like on the.
I feel like in a lot of ways K-Tronada is like heard all that music and it's just like, yo, I'm just gonna borrow this.
Cause it just feels right.
It just feels right. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah. Like that formula, it's so crazy that formula is
right.
birthed in like the motherland. You know what I'm saying? And it's like people out here are kind of like they're peeping game right now. Like
they're finally catching up, right?
Yeah.
So just to build off that, right? So if you look at the likes of like Wizkid, Burna Boy, D'banj, like all these artists that have come out of the continent. Like, how do you feel about the increase in the number of African artists that are now becoming more pronounced on the global stage? Because Shasha, who is a Zimbabwean South African artist, just won like BET Best International Act.
That's huge, man.
Like
that's really huge,
yeah. And she beat out Burna Boy.
That's huge, yo.
Yeah.
I didn't know she beat out Burna Boy. That's huge.
Like yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's bro. I think it's a good thing. I think that means there's. You know, when I was living in Botswana, I felt infrastructure was like a thing that we were lacking. I felt like, I literally did this, man. I went to Yarana FM, I brought a CD and I said, yo, can you guys play this record? Like, we're gonna listen to it, if we like it, we'll play it.
Yeah.
And that was it. And they played the song on the radio. It was cool, like it was great, but it's like, there's no real infrastructure above and beyond that.
True.
Like, I didn't really know like what do I do now, you know what I'm saying? So seeing things like this, man, where like you're getting guys from Southern Africa, Eastern Africa, Western Africa have so many large opportunities.
Right.
It's just across the continent in general, have so many large opportunities over here, and their music's been playing in clubs over here. You know what I'm saying? You know, like hearing like Joanna in the club and stuff, it's like
I actually lost it.
That's
right?
crazy,
Dude,
man.
I was in a club. I think it was Studio on a Saturday, and that's Latin night.
Yeah.
And then like a Latinized version of Joanna came on, and
that's
I'm like,
crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? Like
I know the tune, but I don't know the tune.
That's big, man.
But I rock with the bass lines.
But I feel like we're in a Renaissance era right now as far as music,
really?
Man. I really do. I just think like, yo, I mean.
So what's next in your creative eyes?
I think if you can't operate in multiple lanes, like you're done. Like you have to be able to be like versatile and flexible in this day and age.
That is true.
You know what I'm saying? You got the biggest artist in the world singing in Spanish, and he's from Toronto. True. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like you have to be able to be versatile at this point. That is true. Yeah. You're speaking Arabic on songs now, fam. Like
yo,
that was crazy.
Very true. Although we also cannot deny that, like that whole thing kind of started in New York.
Facts.
Dipset were the first ones to say, yo, but like, Arabic music kind of slaps still. Yeah, and then they dropped Arab Money. That
track was crazy.
That tune was a slapper still. So I was like, yo, you know what? Alright, cool. Like, I kind of like where this is going. Alright, so in terms of like, your creative process, without revealing too much, because, you know, top secret in that. Like, 11 herbs and spices kind of shit.
Yeah, okay.
So like, what's your creative process look like? Are you one of those people that just sits down in front of a laptop, mic in hand, and you go, I'm not going to leave here until I have like X number of like verses recorded, or are you just more of like spur of the moment?
I think if you can capture the moment, that's the best thing to do. But I'm just doing so many features right now and so many tracks right now that like I'm treating it like literally as like a day job, bro. I'm putting in 6 to like 10 hours a day in the studio. And I wish I was the kind of artist that could go in there and bang out a verse in like 20 minutes. That's not me, unfortunately. But I put a lot of love and care into each verse.
Don't you think that's better though?
I think so.
Like depending on your creative process?
I think so, right. I think in the long term, when people can hear your music and be like, you know what, man, this guy is well thought out, there's substance in it, feels good still, I feel like that's going to like benefit you in the long run. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to like, you know, I feel like if you put in 15 minutes, unless you're like a Lil Wayne,
I was actually about
you know what I'm saying? Unless you're like a Lil Wayne.
Unless you're like a Lil Wayne, yeah.
Like, and that's 1 in a billion kind of people, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's not, you're not going to see that, you know what I'm saying? So, unless you're Lil Wayne or you have a bunch of writers working with you, which I definitely don't, I feel like, you know, putting the time into the verse, it's going to just help you in the long run, man. Because I don't want microwave music. That's it. I don't want microwave music.
Ooh, I like that, microwave music.
I don't want it to be cooked up quick, and then I don't want it to be released, and then after 2 months, people are like, I don't want to hear that again.
It's got like a certain like snap to it, microwave music still. Okay, so I have to ask you then, right? So if you look at the landscape right now, like obviously it's very difficult to judge other people's creative process and like the art that they're putting out there, but do you feel as though like hip hop has suffered recently in terms of like the quality of like storytelling or like the quality of the music, or do you think it's just a natural progression or a natural evolution, or do you think something else?
I think all the above, really. I feel like at the end of the day, the genre is such a young genre of music, man. It's only been around for like 40 years. You know, when you really think about it. So when all of a sudden it's like you start hearing, I feel like a lot of guys in the 90s and early 2000s, they had an idea of what hip hop was. But as the genre grows,
quote unquote old heads.
Yeah, exactly. But as the genre grows, you get multiple subgenres, right? So I don't think necessarily, like if you look at rock music, you know, you have punk rock, you have ska rock, you have so many like different variations of it.
And you got Simple Plan.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like that's kind of what hip hop's doing right now. It's just the subgenres are really developing.
So it's a natural.
So it's naturally growing, and so if you don't like Lil Yachty, that's fine. You don't have to listen to Lil Yachty because you have Joey Badass.
Very true.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like you just have to identify what your subgenre is, and then just rock with that. Okay. You know what I'm saying? That's what I feel like. Like we shouldn't have to limit it because at the end of the day, you know, next man who's like, you know, 45 might hate Juice WRLD, but if you're 15 years old, Juice WRLD's a god to you.
Pretty much, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like you can't tell someone that's not good art. By the way, Juice WRLD is dope. Disclaimer.
Oh, Juice WRLD is amazing.
Yeah. I do think though in general, because it is so easy to make music these days, there's a lot of people who can just catch a quick vibe in the studio and somehow architect like a viral, right? And that's gonna happen in this day and age, in this landscape. That's just a reality. But I do feel as if those people just have short careers. That's just being real. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like Lil Pump today versus Lil Pump 4 years ago or 3 years ago when Gucci Gang was out as a different artist. You know what I'm saying? Like Gucci Gang it was crazy.
Yeah, like it literally like shut down.
Yeah, it was crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like at the end of the day, if your skills are on point, you'll always have a career.
That's very true. So then for you as an artist, then like do you feel pressure to adapt to like the microwave music kind of a wave, or do you completely refuse and you're like, no, like I know my artistic process, like I know what I have to do to make stuff that I'm personally proud of?
Yeah, at the end of the day, man, like I have to always know that whatever I put out, I have to like. Because at the end of the day, I can put something out, you might hate it, but next man might love it. Yeah. And I can't really be affected by either opinion. I just have to be like, I know it's dope, and I like it.
And you believe in it.
And I believe in it, right? And that's a decision that I've had to make because I have dabbled in like trying to do something microwave before.
Yeah.
And I have done also like the 64 bar verses and shit. But at the end of the day, I look at it, I'm just like, you know what? I have to be proud of it because I'm the one who has to live with it.
Very true.
I'm the one who has to perform it. I'm the one who has to, in a year look back and be like, that was an L, or be like, oh, I'm proud of that shit still. So that's all I think, man. And I think to be real, as far as success,
Yeah.
I think music is 10% of the success.
Really?
I think the main part of it is who you are and your brand, like how you market yourself. That's the biggest part of it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be real, like, there's a lot of artists. Take an NBA young boy. I feel like he's more successful because of who he is on social media as opposed to just his music.
Yeah.
Right? Which is not a bad thing necessarily. Like,
It's just different.
It's just different, right?
Right.
And I think like unless you've developed a brand like a Drake brand or like a Future brand, where you can put a record out and it's just gonna do well because your brand is so strong. Yeah, a lot of it is just how you market yourself on social media. That's a big part of it.
That's fair. That's fair, man. That's fair, man. So then, in terms of like the music sort of community in this city, like Vancouver.
Yeah.
Have you found it easy to find trustworthy collaborators, or has it been a challenge?
Shit, man, it's so funny. If you asked me 2 years ago, I would have been like, yo, everyone in this city's haters, bro. No one wants to work with me, man. You know how it is out here.
Yeah.
But now if I hit someone up, they sound like at first. I'm surprised if they say I can't do it or I'm busy or it's a no. I'm surprised, and I think it's only because locally, I've developed a good brand. Right. So on a national scale, I have to work on that. International scale, I'm still working on that. But locally, I've developed a good brand. So it's really by choice. But I think everyone's just making smart business decisions at the end of the day.
Right.
That's what you got to do. Like, what's the best thing for me? Like, can I grow my brand by working with this person? Yes or no? And if you can, then you're good. And if you can't, then that's it.
All right, that's fair.
Because I know a lot of people who are really, really dope. You have no one listening to them. And it's are you you might be the best rapper in the world, but are you gonna get Drake on a song? Probably not, unless you're paying. And who has that money?
No one has that kind of money.
So it's the same thing I look at. It's just like you have to develop a certain amount of, and I hate to use the word, but you have to develop a certain amount of clout.
Okay, that's fair. All right, so now let's kind of talk about kind of like what your creative experience has been like in the city. Do you think Vancouver inspires you at all? Or is your inspiration like purely like internal? Like, do you look in and you're like, what am I feeling?
I mean, shit, man. I make a lot of music about girls, so it doesn't really matter where you are, I guess.
It is what it is, right? It is what it is.
So I'm that's good here, I guess.
That's fair.
But yeah, I think internally, it's kind of the way to be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I really want to... Yeah, I feel like my favorite artists are artists that I grow up with. I can see their journey, and I feel like I connect with it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I love J. Cole for that reason, you know? I feel like J. Cole is, however many years older than me.
Right.
And so, like, he's talking about experiences that when I come into that, like, shit, man, this guy was talking game.
Yeah.
So that's really kind of the direction I want to go. So a lot of, self-assessments is necessary for me. Yeah.
So then, not just like the songwriting portion, right? Because, like, from my own personal experience, like, probably like 50% of the creative process is finding a producer that you actually like. Like, finding a producer that you can say, okay, I like your vibe, like, like what works with my vocals, what doesn't work with my vocals, and we have like a certain chemistry, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
It's like how hard was that for you to find? Unless you do all of your own, unless you're going like full blown like Hobson with it, unless you're going like full blown like Russ and Hobson.
That's hilarious. I'm like 50% Russ. I record pretty much all my stuff by myself.
Jeez.
And then I send it off to a dude locally who like mixes it. We link up. We do all this stuff together.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, I got a dude locally at East Boulevard Records. He does a bunch of my mixes for me, so that's kind of the formula right now. Yeah, it was very hard, man. And I guess what it came down to was like getting someone to buy in, as opposed to like it just being a monetary exchange. Having someone be like, yo, man, I really like what you're doing and I want to build with you, so that, you guys can push out a lot of content at a high quality. That's really hard to do. That's really hard to find. It took me a long time before I found that. But then again, man, it all comes back to like, does it make sense? You know what I'm saying? Like, if they can see like, oh, this person's, has got pretty strong numbers for where he's at in his career right now, and the trajectory looks good. Right. Like that's a thing where like someone like, it's better for me to come on early onto this because it's trending upwards, as opposed to being like, yo, this guy's already popping, let me try to get on board. And then,
I feel that. So there is this rumor about Vancouver, where it's like, if you want to do rap in Vancouver, don't market in Vancouver. Yeah. So the myth goes, if you are an up and coming hip hop artist in Vancouver, focus your marketing efforts in Toronto, LA, New York, Houston, Chicago, and Detroit.
Pretty much like the major.
Like, is that true? Is that just like people being salty and they're like, yo, man's didn't blow up and I've been doing this for bare time?
I think there's, if you're asking me, is it true that people do that? Yeah. Do I think it's true that you have to do that? I don't think so, but I don't think anyone's figured out how to yet. So, I mean, shit, man. But at the end of the day, like, this goes back to, I take it to the Bible, man. I think it says in the Bible, like, a prophet is not welcome in his own town or something crazy like that.
Jeez.
You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing with music. It's like,
God damn it,
you have to prove yourself somewhere else before you can bring it back.
Oh, that hit deep. That hit deep. Prophet isn't welcome in his own town.
Yeah, man. So,
okay.
At the end of the day, you so many niggas is petty. So let's say, yo, I know Teon did me dirty this time, or Teon did this X time, or yo, my girl was talking to Teon, whatever it might be, right? Like, those are just all examples, but like whatever it might be, there's always like a messiness, right? Because you know someone a little bit deeper than, I just discovered the baby and he's cool as fuck, so I want to support him, you know what I mean? So I think, marketing yourself and finding success in other markets, especially like LA or Toronto. I'll be real, Vancouver is a very clout-based city. I'm just being 100% real. I think so. Like,
how bad though? Because we've all seen what clout chasing looks like in LA.
Yeah.
We've all seen what clout chasing looks like in Miami.
And it's not to that degree, but at the end of the day, man, like, if you're anywhere in the world and you could go see a dope show from local artists and pay $10 to see it, but then you'd be like, you know what, I'd rather pay $150 and see the same show, but just from a brand I know. So that says a lot kind of about like the mentality of like where you're at, right? Where you guys, like, if you go to a place like Winnipeg, people put their local industries.
They put it on,
They put it on, bro. And that's just facts, man. So that's just the way it goes. It's whatever. It's fine. You just gotta build your brand up until there's no debating it.
Okay. So in terms of the local artists in the city, I'm gonna put you on the spot here.
Okay, cool. Let's do it.
All right. Who are your favorite collaborators in the city? Like, are there any artists that you listen to their work and you're like, God damn, bro, we need to get on some real quick, put it on wax.
Okay, so you're asking me who do I think are the dopest, like, artistically talented artists in the city?
If you want to put it that way, sure.
Or are you asking me who do I think has the dopest brand in the city? Or both?
Okay, let me put it to you this way, yeah? Out of all the creatives that you met in Vancouver, right? Who would you want your brand associated with?
Good question, man. This is a cop-out answer. I'll give you a second answer. But the dude I'm working with right now is I'm working with I Am the Living. I don't know if you've heard of him.
No, I haven't, unfortunately.
But that's a dope project. It's very. I've been a fan of his for a long time. So working with him now is kind of like goals for me. So I'm in a great space mentally about that. I think there's a lot of really crazy artists though that are like, I think Boston's an incredible artist, man. I think he's built a dope brand. He makes dope music at the end of the day. My guy Chill Winston has got a dope. He's probably the best producer I've heard. He's good. His sound is so unique. Nothing else really sounds like it. So I rate that pretty highly. And there's this cat named Mikey Jose. He's got it, man. He's got it. He just looks like a R&B singer, but he's really got it.
Okay.
He's got that kind of like tone that you could hear his voice on pretty much anything. And then the homegirl Triss is incredible. Those are the people that I hear, and I'm like, their trajectory, as long as they don't fuck it up, you know,
they should be good. Yeah.
They're gonna do great things.
Oh, word?
As long as they don't fuck it up.
As long as they don't fuck it up.
Yeah, and it's really easy to fuck it up because you can lose motivation, get discouraged, and it's like, I'm done.
Or just fall in like with the wrong people that you think at the time might have your best interests at heart, right?
Exactly. That's hard to identify though. Really, I really think it is. It's hard to identify, like who's a writer and who's not. You know.
That's fair. So, because of kind of how like Vancouver's been changing lately, like I'm sure that you're aware that like venues have been disappearing and it's become so much more challenging for local artists like to put on like quality shows and like decent spaces. How's that been for you? Like, have you been able to like just like before obviously the world kind of like got flipped on its head, but like was it a challenge for you to kind of adapt to the changing climate in the city where it's like it's harder for artists to find venues to host shows and all that other stuff, or were you still able to kind of just roll the punches and just keep it moving?
Yeah, man, I've been personally, I've been very fortunate, bro. Like, I haven't really felt the effects of that in a big way. You know, I'll say, like the sheer number of shows, obviously I've lost a lot of shows. But being able to put on a good quality show, you know, there's a lot of venues that are still open and still doing great things. And I think the thing about BC in particular is that we have a really cool infrastructure. The creative BCs, the music BCs, they're really putting a lot of money into local shows. Right. So a venue can't have more than 50 people in it or whatever the rule is right now. But they're like, you know what? We'll give you a grant and you guys can film it and you guys can put on a dope live stream and everyone can make money still. Oh. So without the music BCs and without the creative BCs, then I'd probably be really stressed. But because they're putting a lot of money into it, and I can have a 2-3 person camera crew come to the show and film it, edit it. I mean, for me, it's been dope.
Really?
Yeah.
See, that's really like good to hear, because it would really suck if kind of like Vancouver lost more of its creative soul because of I guess corporate interests that are just trying to like convert the whole city into like super profitable real estate. All right, so we all knew this was coming.
Let's talk about it.
All right, top 5. Who you got? Dead or alive, top 5 all-time hip-hop artists.
Oh shit! Oh damn!
We all knew it was coming.
Bro, I thought we were talking like local shit.
Nah, we just went top 5 all-time, dead or alive.
Man.
Careful now.
Hip hop specifically?
Hip hop specifically.
Okay, cool. That makes it easier.
Word?
Bro, I mean, if you're talking
R&B
and soul, it's like, bro, this is crazy now.
Okay, hip hop specific. Who you got?
All right, man. Jay-Z, number 1.
Number 1?
Number 1.
Okay. All right. Hot take already.
All right, but there's gonna be a lot of hot takes, man.
In for a penny, in for a pound.
Man, people are gonna hate me for this. All time.
All time. Dead or alive.
Can I explain the criteria first?
Sure,
so like why I'm doing this?
Okay,
cool. So I'm basing this off of commercial success, right? Writing talent or like ability or like lyrics.
Yeah.
You know, I'm basing it off of lyrics.
Right.
And I'm also basing it off of like cultural impact.
Okay.
Those are my 3 criteria.
I think those are very fair metrics.
Yeah. So like.
So Jay-Z.
So like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could say like freaking Black Thought or something like that, but it's like Jay-Z's cultural impact and like it's just a different level.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? So Jay-Z number 1. Drake number 2.
Drake.
Yeah.
Who?
There's a lot of hot takes here, man.
Who? Okay.
Drake number 2. A lot of hot takes here, man.
Ooh. Come on, bro. Don't do this to me now. Don't do this. Come on, dog.
Kendrick number 3.
Okay, Kendrick. Okay, I can. Okay. So Jay, Drake, Kendrick.
And then I'm gonna go with.
Like you put Kendrick below Drake, but okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do. I know. And then I'm probably gonna go with J. Cole.
J. Cole.
That's my guy.
Okay. Okay.
Number 5, Kanye.
Say it with your chest. Say it with your chest.
Number 5 is Kanye.
Ooh.
That's my top 5.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah, that's my top 5.
Ooh.
There's a lot of hot takes. I know.
Ooh.
I know. There's a lot of people I left out. I know.
Okay.
People are gonna be like,
Right.
you didn't put Biggie on there. I know. I know.
Okay. So before we get into the judgment, right?
Yeah.
Why is Jay number 1?
I mean, Jay-Z.
He's undeniable.
Yeah, you listen to Reasonable Doubt. You listen to Blueprint. You listen to Black Album. He's rapping at an extremely high level that like rapidy rap niggas would love.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like, but then he also has commercials, hits, success,
Yeah. Watch the Throne. Case in point.
and then business.
Dude,
It's
we
just-
don't even have to
you can't even talk about it, you know what I'm saying?
It's really no need. That I get.
Yeah.
But Drake?
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 Yeah, man. I think Drake.
I get the commercial bit, but it's like my man's got bare accusations of
I
ghostwriting.
know that. But I mean, accusations are accusations.
Ooh.
But Drake. You know what? I think everyone I put on this list,
It's gonna be spicy.
they've changed. I think they've all changed music to a degree. I think Drake has changed music.
Yeah,
like
Drake has.
every rapper now is like, if you're not singing a little bit, you're not really gonna do that great.
Okay, look.
If you're not talking about
For
your
me-
feelings a little bit, you know.
Okay,
what I'm
no,
saying?
straight down. So,
Facts.
so for me, right, like I would never argue that Drake has changed music. The point that most people will debate you on it is that whether it was for the better. That's where most people might actually.
I mean,
have.
I'll be real with you, man. I don't think I would be sitting here talking to you right now.
If it wasn't for Drake.
Yeah, that's facts. I'd be like a lyrical, miracle, spiritual criminal. Nah, that's just not me. You know what I'm saying?
That's fair.
So-
Okay, Kendrick, I get.
Kendrick's like.
Kendrick.
I feel like Kendrick's a safe answer.
Kendrick
Anyone
is a safe
He's a
answer.
safe answer.
But what about J. Cole though? Because people could easily say, well, like Kendrick and J. Cole are pretty much one and the same, just that one has more
Yeah,
commercial success than the other. So why not just pick one of them and just say like this is for like the new school lyricists? You know what I mean?
But I mean, and honestly, you could do that. But J. Cole for me, you know, I've been listening to J. Cole since the warm up, fam.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? So I've never been more attached to someone's career than J. Cole.
Okay, that's fair.
That's just personally, no one else. And honestly, Kanye.
Yay.
No, I mean,
Probably the most controversial person on your list. Man.
Yeah, I'll tell you the truth, man. I spent pretty much 2010 to like 2017 doing nothing but defending Kanye. Always been like, nah, man, you gotta understand, man.
I'm
But-
pretty sure that the vast majority of us did.
And it got to a point where he started talking about slavery
Then
was a
he
choice, and I was like, bro, this is too deep now. I can't say anything.
That's honestly like when I stopped listening to Kanye. I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't justify it.
But then I listened to like Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I listened
And
to
it's a
College
different
Dropout, and I'm just like,
experience.
bro, no one's making hip hop music like this with this production level, this creativity. Yeah, it's different, man. And I think, I mean, he's got a career that lives beyond antics. Yeah, 100%. Like it sounds. Yeah, just the way he looks at music is. Honestly, if it wasn't for the fuckery, I'd probably put him at number 1. Honestly.
It wasn't for the fuckery.
Yeah, just so much fuckery that I'm like, shit, man, I can't do that, man. But if it wasn't for that, bro, if there was no fuckery and he just made great music,
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I'd be like, I'm down, man. He's
That's
dope.
fair. All right, so now we're gonna get into my favorite part of this podcast. I call it the curveball.
Okay.
Right. I hope you're emotionally prepared for this because I tend to like throw people off their game a little bit, right?
I'm ready, bro.
So, you can only listen to one of the following albums.
Okay, let's do it.
And the rest of them have to be completely erased from history.
Okay, let's do it. That is
Okay?
a curveball,
So,
legit.
You got 4 albums.
Alright.
And you pick one to save. The rest of them get burned. They don't exist anymore.
Cool.
Gone. Right?
Alright. Okay, wait, so wait, that artist is like still around, but that album is just forever gone.
No.
Okay. Okay. So,
Actually, not yes. The artist is around, but that album just doesn't exist.
okay, cool. Let's
Okay?
do it.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Mad City.
Shit.
Right?
Cool.
Okay. Kanye West, 808s and Heartbreaks. Okay.
Okay.
J. Cole, Jay-Z, American Gangster.
You gotta choose all classic albums.
Right?
Okay.
And then the last one, because I'm a bastard. J. Cole, Forest Hills. Who will you saving? And which album and which 3 albums get burnt? Good Kid, Mad City.
Alright, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it in reverse order of the ones that I know I'll get rid of first.
Yeah.
It's crazy. We just talked about this, but I probably have to put away J. Cole first.
Okay, so J. Cole gets burned first. Forest Hills gets burned first.
Although I think it's his best body of work, I think there's a lot of albums with a similar perspective to that like quality that have existed. So although as a J. Cole fan, I love it, I'm like...
Compared to the other 3?
Yeah.
Okay, so Forest Hills is gone. Now you're left with Good Kid, Mad City.
Yep.
808s and Heartbreaks.
Mm-hmm.
American Gangster.
Oh. Bro, that's tough, man. Man, I probably say the next one I'm gonna burn is gonna be American Gangster.
You're gonna burn American Gangster.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's hot. I know that's tough,
Oof.
man.
Okay, so
But we still got Blueprint, we still got Black Album, we still
did.
got Reasonable Doubt.
We did.
We have those still,
We
you know what I'm
did.
saying? So like I can
Yeah.
he's got so many classics, so like, you know what, we lose one, I guess.
But it's American Gangster though.
And then here's what it comes down to.
Good Kid, Mad City.
Like,
808s and Heartbreaks.
we have one of the most perfect hip hop albums ever made in Good Kid, Mad City, versus an album that basically created a genre of music.
And that's why I picked them.
And that's why it's very fucking tough.
Good Kid, Good Kid, Mad City is the perfect story album.
Perfect.
From start to finish. Every song adds to the narrative. And I picked those albums because you said you're a storyteller and I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
Now, 808s and Heartbreaks redefined how auto-tune and 808s should be used in hip-hop.
We wouldn't have Drake. We wouldn't have, you know,
Exactly.
Bryson Tiller.
Exactly.
We wouldn't. There's so
Now
much.
burn one.
This is actually very hard, man. Bro.
Kendrick, Kanye.
Man down. Way down. Oh my
Pirates
God.
and Crips.
Stop.
All
It's
Got Along.
so...
Or it's like, love lockdown, love lockdown.
You know what? No, you know what? I'm keeping 808s.
Ooh.
It's the most...
So you're burning Good Kid, Mad City.
Yeah, man. You don't have to say it out loud. Yeah. I am. But that 808s, you know what? Here's what it is, man. 808s, for a hip hop artist, you could have just kept using soul samples and made dope music.
Easily, yeah.
But it's probably the most, that's like the riskiest album you could have made.
Probably. Yeah, probably.
And it changed music, man.
Very true. All right, so.
August Alsina would have never had an entanglement if it wasn't for Kanye making 808s and Heartbreaks. That's facts.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ.
Jada Pinkett and Will would be very happy right now.
If it wasn't,
for Kanye making that album. That's facts. That's just facts, bro.
All right, so what do you have coming up that we can look forward to?
I'm working on a project with I Am the Living. It's like a house meets hip hop meets R&B based project.
Okay. It's kind of like a Swedish house mafia meets like Liquid Deep kind of a vibe.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. It's like honestly, it's like K-Tronada meets Liquid Deep with like some bars on it.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's pretty much like the vibe.
So just a little bit.
Yeah, just a peppering.
Just a little.
Yeah.
Just a little something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then next year working on a solo project that's coming out, which is gonna, cause this is more like a mainstream project that we're working on right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's great because it frees me up. I don't have to worry about like trying to make a song that can go viral or a song that can be a hit, or like I can just make dope ass content that's
Right.
just tells a story, it's lyrical, dope beats.
So where can people find you? Like, what are your socials, or where can people follow you? Where can people find your music and that?
Yeah, if you've been listening this long, my name is Teon Gibbs. You just type in Teon Gibbs on pretty much any platform and you'll find me.
And how do you spell that, just to make sure?
TEONGIBBS. And on Instagram it has a 100 at the end. You'll see a little blue tick after my name.
Verified. Ooh,
flex. Just had to throw it out there still.
Flex.
Throw it out there still, you know.
Flex.
A little blue tick. It's cool.
Ain't no thing.
Yeah, you know, if you DM me, I probably won't get back to you for a few days. But I'll hit you up eventually. No, I'm playing. No, seriously, yeah, hit me up on Instagram.
New drip, who this? Goddamn.
Yeah, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Spotify. If you know any artists that are like your friends that you fuck with, one of the best things that you can do is just follow them on Spotify. That goes such a long way because at the end of the day, that's where pretty much careers are being made right now. I feel like in the 2010s, it was like YouTube.
Now it's on Spotify.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so if someone can get popping on Spotify, that's the best thing you can do for them.
All right. Well, Senor Teon Gibbs, thank you so much for popping in.
Thank you, sir.
Honestly, it's been great. Actually,
it was fun, man. It was very fun.
So, thank you so much for tuning in to episode 6 of Arreglo Radio. And as always, take it easy and be kind to one another. Peace.
Bless the love, man. Thank you.
We are Arreglo Entertainment, and our podcast Arreglo Radio is a platform where we take a deeper dive into the lives and minds of young professionals in Vancouver. Through engaging and personable conversations with our guests, we gain insight into their professional expertise, ideologies, and really dissect what makes them tick. Our guests come from a wide spectrum of professions, from accountants to makeup artists, musicians to entrepreneurs. We aim to really understand and showcase what drives the next generation of business, social, and community leaders. We believe that providing a more relaxed atmosphere that feels like home, coupled with some light banter, presents the opportunity for better conversations that don't feel staged. Arreglo Entertainment is a group of former international students looking to fully understand Vancouver, its people, and culture. And coming from this perspective, we believe that we are uniquely capable of having these in-depth exploratory conversations.